Welcome back, coin lovers and history hunters. Glowing Star today. We're diving into the timeless beauty and powerful legacy of the Liberty $quarter coin, a small piece of metal that carries big stories, bold history, and serious collector appeal. From the moment this coin was struck, it wasn't just meant for everyday change. It was designed to represent freedom, strength, and the spirit of a nation. As you hold or even glimpse a Liberty quarter, you're looking at an era when craftsmanship mattered and every detail told a story. The graceful image of Lady Liberty isn't just artwork. It's a symbol of hope, independence, and pride that has traveled through generations, hands, and historic moments. The idea of a 1973 Liberty $quarter from the Philadelphia Mint sounds like a once-in-a-lifetime miracle coin, the kind people imagine turning a quiet night into instant billionaire status. That dream exists because coins carry emotion, history, and mystery. But here's the truth most people never explain properly. By 1973, the United States was no longer striking Liberty design quarters, and silver had already been removed from regular quarters years earlier. So when someone talks about a 1973 Liberty silver quarter, they are really talking about a legend, not a standard coin. And legends are where collectors' curiosity explodes. What does make 1973 quarters fascinating is the possibility of the impossible. In numismatics, value is born when something exists that should not exist. A wrong metal, a wrong design, a wrong planchet, or a mistake, so extreme it slips past every safeguard at the mint. These errors are the coins that rewrite price guides, the pieces that auction houses whisper about, the kind that don't get spent, they get studied, photographed, and locked away. If a 1973 quarter were ever proven to be struck in silver or carrying a Liberty-style anomaly, it would instantly become a global sensation. Collectors chase these ghosts not because they are common, but because history has proven that mint errors can shatter expectations. Coins have sold for astonishing sums simply because they break the rules. When a coin contradicts official records, it stops being money and becomes evidence. Evidence of a moment when the system failed in a beautiful way. That is where imagination meets value, and why people keep searching pocket change decades later. The Philadelphia Mint Mark P itself adds another layer of intrigue. Philadelphia is the heart of U.S. coinage, the birthplace of standards and consistency. When something strange comes out of Philadelphia, experts pay attention. A dramatic error from this mint carries weight, because it challenges the very authority that defines what is normal. That's why even rumors of impossible Philadelphia coins refuse to die. They keep hope alive. But here's the crucial wisdom most viral stories ignore. Condition and proof matter more than dreams. Even a real error, if damaged or altered, loses its magic. True fortune-changing coins survive untouched, sharp, original, and unquestionable. They don't shine because someone polished them. They shine because time respected them. That is the difference between a fantasy find and a documented treasure. It's also important to understand that overnight fortune stories are rarely instant. Coins that reach extraordinary prices usually pass through experts, grading services, and elite auctions. Their value grows through confirmation, not excitement. Anyone promising immediate millions without verification is selling a story, not a coin. Real wealth in numismatics is patient, quiet, and precise. Still, the romance of the hunt is real. Every collector knows that history has surprises left. Coins have surfaced decades later that changed textbooks. That possibility, however rare, is what keeps people looking twice at ordinary dates like 1973. Not because they expect magic, but because they respect chance. So if someone believes they have a special 1973 quarter, the smartest move is not to spend it, not to hype it, and not to trust internet legends. The smartest move is to protect it, question it, and verify it. Fortune favors curiosity paired with discipline, not blind belief. In the end, the true power of coins isn't that they make everyone rich overnight. It's that they connect ordinary people to extraordinary moments. Most will remain 5-cent or 25-cent pieces forever. But a tiny, mysterious few remind the world that history sometimes slips through the cracks. And that possibility alone is what keeps the dream alive. The 1965 Liberty $quarter from the Philadelphia Mint is surrounded by whispers, rumors, and late-night collector legends that refuse to die. On the surface, it looks like just another small piece of pocket change, but hidden within a very tiny number of examples is a story so powerful that has turned ordinary people into lifelong treasure hunters. This is a year when American coinage crosses a historic line, and sometimes when history shifts too fast, miracles slip through the cracks. In 1965, the United States officially moved away from silver coinage, replacing precious metal with a new copper-nickel composition. The change was sudden, massive, and chaotic. In the middle of this transition, a few extraordinary quarters are believed to have been struck in the wrong metal, using old silver planchets that were never meant to exist after 1964. These coins were never announced, never released intentionally, and never supposed to survive, which is exactly why they are spoken about in hushed tones today. What makes a legendary 1965 Liberty quarter truly explosive in value is not just silver, but perfection mixed with rebellion. A silver-struck quarter dated 1965 with a Philadelphia Mint origin represents a contradiction of official history. It is a coin that should not exist, and in the world of elite collectors, should not exist is where seven-figure prices are born. One confirmed example can ignite bidding wars that feel less like auctions and more like battles for immortality. Collectors don't just pay for metal. They pay for stories frozen in time. A flawless strike, sharp details, original luster, and unmistakable weight instantly separate a life-changing coin from an ordinary one. When experts realize they are holding a silver quarter from a year that was never meant to produce one, the room goes quiet. In that silence, fortunes are rewritten, and history bends in favor of whoever held onto the coin long enough. The most powerful part of this story is how easily such a coin could be overlooked. It might sit in an old drawer, passed down through generations, mistaken for something common, and spent without a second thought. That is why experienced collectors warn again and again, never rush, never assume, and never sell suspicious coin cheaply. One careless decision can erase a future that was meant to be extraordinary. A genuine silver 1965 Liberty quarter is not just rare. It is dangerous to underestimate. Its value does not rise slowly. It explodes when verified. The moment professionals confirm weight, composition, and authenticity, the coin steps into a completely different universe, where numbers are discussed in millions and ownership alone brings instant recognition among the elite. Stories circulate collectors who almost gave up, who nearly sold their coins for face value, only to pause at the last moment and seek expert evaluation. That single pause changed everything. Overnight, they were no longer chasing fortune. Fortune had found them. This is why the coin is often described as having the power to change destiny without warning. The Philadelphia Mint mark, or rather the absence of a mint mark, adds another layer of mystery. Coins from this mint often blend in, hiding in plain sight. That invisibility is what makes discoveries so thrilling. The idea that unimaginable wealth could be resting quietly in a forgotten box is what keeps collectors searching year after year. This is not a coin for impatience or desperation. It demands respect, knowledge, and restraint. Anyone who believes they may possess such a piece must protect it, study it, and submit it only to the highest level of professional scrutiny. The difference between a few dollars and generational wealth is often nothing more than understanding what you truly hold. In the end, the 1965 Liberty Quarter legend is not about metal alone. It is about timing, chance, and courage. Courage to question what others dismiss. Courage to wait when others rush. And courage to believe that even the smallest coin can carry the weight of a transformed future. If you ever find one that defies the rules, do not spend it lightly. Because some coins are not meant to buy things. They are meant to change lives. Need to be straight with you first. Because real power comes from truth, not hype. A Liberty quarter dollar dated 1776 with a P mint mark does not exist. The United States did not mint quarter dollars in 1776 at all, and the Philadelphia P mint mark was not used on coins in that era. The first U.S. quarter was struck in 1796, 20 years after independence. Now, don't stop reading, because the story behind this myth and the real Liberty quarters that can change a life is still jaw-dropping, emotional, and absolutely worth telling. The legend of a 1776 Liberty quarter is born from America's birth year itself. Collectors and dreamers imagine a silver coin struck at the moment a nation was born, touched by revolution, freedom, and bloodshed. That fantasy alone gives the coin a mythical status. And myths are powerful. They spread fast, ignite hope, and make people believe that fortune could be hiding in an old drawer. But numismatics, the science of coins, separates dreams from documented history. And that's where the real magic begins. When the U.S. Mint finally introduced the $quarter in 1796, it carried the draped bust Liberty design, a symbol of a young nation finding its identity. These early Liberty quarters were handcrafted, struck on crude presses, and produced in extremely tiny numbers. Many were lost to time, melted for silver, or worn into history through everyday trade. Today, surviving examples are not just coins, they are national artifacts, breathing witnesses of America's fragile early years. The most valuable Liberty quarters are not famous because of loud stories, but because of silent rarity. A high-grade 1796 draped bust quarter can command prices well into hundreds of thousands, and in extraordinary conditions, even over $1 million. That value does not come from fantasy. It comes from scarcity, age, condition, and historical gravity. Holding one is like holding the first heartbeat of American commerce. Then comes the standing Liberty quarter, especially the mysterious 1916 issue, a coin that looks ordinary to the untrained eye, but is legendary among collectors. With an extremely low mintage, this coin has turned unsuspecting families into wealthy heirs overnight. In top condition, it can sell for staggering sums, not because of silver content, but because collectors fight fiercely to own history's missing pieces. What truly creates overnight fortune stories is not face value, but condition and authenticity. A Liberty quarter with sharp details, original surfaces, and untouched patina can multiply in value beyond imagination. Many people lose fortunes by cleaning coins, polishing them, or selling too fast to the wrong buyer. Knowledge, patience, and proper valuation are the real keys that unlock hidden wealth. The reason people keep searching for mythical coins like a 1776 Liberty quarter is emotional, not foolish. It represents hope, the idea that destiny might quietly be waiting in your pocket. And while that exact coin is a legend, the world of rare Liberty coinage is full of real sleepers that have already rewritten lives. Every major discovery began with someone who didn't know what they had, until they learned. If you ever believe you hold something extraordinary, the worst mistake is rushing to sell. True value reveals itself slowly, through expert eyes, careful grading, and trusted auction houses. The difference between a few $100s and a life-changing sum often lies in one decision made too quickly. Coins reward those who respect them. So while a 1776 Liberty quarter with AP Mint mark lives only in imagination, the power of Liberty coins is very real. They don't shout, they whisper, and only those who listen carefully hear what they're truly worth. Fortune doesn't always arrive with fireworks. Sometimes it rests quietly in silver, waiting for the right moment to change a life forever. The year 1967 sits in American coin history, like a quiet storm, and a Liberty $quarter connected to this moment carries a story far bigger than its face value. At first glance, a 1967 quarter with AP Mint mark looks ordinary, almost invisible among pocket change, but hidden behind that simplicity is a time when the U.S. Mint was under pressure. Silver was disappearing from circulation, and strange things were happening behind closed doors. Coins from this era were born during chaos, and chaos is where legends are made. Now here's where reality becomes more fascinating than fantasy. Despite what many believe, a regular 1967 quarter is not silver. By that time, the U.S. had already moved away from silver and into a copper-nickel-clad composition. That single fact shocks most collectors, and yet it makes the story more powerful, not weaker. Because when a coin is not supposed to be silver, any example that breaks a rule instantly becomes a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. That is where unimaginable value truly begins. The real million-dollar magic of a 1967 Liberty-era quarter lies in minting errors and transitional anomalies. During this period, experimental blanks, leftover silver planchets, and rush production created the perfect environment for mistakes. A 1967 quarter accidentally struck on a silver planchet or showing extreme off-metal composition is not just rare. It is a historical accident frozen in metal. These are the coins that collectors whisper about, the ones that change hands quietly, sometimes for prices that never reach the public eye. Condition is the next amplifier of fortune. A flawless 1967 quarter with razor-sharp details, mirror-like surfaces, and untouched edges is already special, even without errors. But combine pristine condition with a verified mint anomaly, and the value doesn't climb. It explodes. At that level, the coin is no longer judged as currency. It becomes an artifact, a survivor of a broken system, and artifacts do not follow normal price rules. What makes this coin especially dangerous to spend is how ordinary it looks. A person without knowledge could drop it into a vending machine and lose a future in seconds. History is full of stories where life-changing coins were spent for coffee, bread, or bus fare, simply because the owner didn't recognize the quiet power resting in their palm. The most valuable coins rarely shout. They whisper. The phrase billionaire overnight sounds dramatic, but in the world of ultra-rare coins, fortunes truly can change in a single moment. A collector who uncovers a genuine 1967 quarter error tied to silver composition, double strikes, or wrong metal planchets doesn't just gain money. They gain leverage. Auctions, private deals, and elite collectors compete fiercely for coins that should not exist. When something was never meant to be made, it becomes priceless to those who understand history. This is why selling such a coin cheaply is the greatest mistake possible. The first offer is almost never the best offer. Serious buyers wait patiently for desperate sellers. Knowledge flips that power dynamic completely. When you understand what the coin represents, you control the room, not the buyer. Time works with the informed owner, not against them. The 1967 quarter also represents the end of an era, the fading echo of Liberty Era ideals colliding with modern mass production. Collectors are not only buying metal, they are buying symbolism, transition, and rebellion against uniformity. Coins from moment of change always outgrow expectations, because they mark a line that history never crosses again. If you believe you have such a coin, the smartest move is silence and verification, not excitement and spending. Rushing destroys value. Patience multiplies it. Every legendary coin story begins with someone who paused instead of panicking, who questioned instead of dismissing, who understood that ordinary objects sometimes carry extraordinary destinies. So if a 1967 Liberty Era quarter ever finds its way into your hands, don't judge it by its date or its face value. Judge it by what it should not be. Because in the world of rare coins, impossibility is where fortunes are born, and the smallest disc of metal can quietly hold the power to rewrite a life overnight.